despite everything that we know about John Mahama, and maybe the other reason is because he's had a stab at this for quite some time. He's gone, I think, once after Mills.
He won in 2012, lost in 2016, lost in 2020.
Exactly. And so they might feel that, well, he's had a stab at this for some time. It might be time to bring in a new phase and see if that will invigorate the party. But let's face it, the fact of the matter is that the former President John Mahama still remains a deeply popular person within the party. His charisma is matched only by his popularity. He's popular, he's very charismatic. He also wields a deep sense of loyalty among the members of the party. There is such a deep-seated sense of support among the opposition for the former president. And when it comes to resources as well, he wields quite a considerable amount of resources, and resources are important for any presidential campaign. There is also the last quip about the former president. He is a very relatable person. He has that warmth. He has that communicative ability to relate to the ordinary Ghanaian. I don't think he can easily be wished away as the candidate in the NDC. When you look at the internal dynamics within the NDC itself, there are very few people who command the kind of stature and the kind of loyalty within the party.
Okay.
Let's guess who? Yes, they might be, but not to that extent.
Okay.
And so to think that it will just happen for a new phase to happen, I think that's going to be a tall order.
Okay, so let's stay on that for a bit. And Dr. Asante, I will come to you in a minute. Already, there's been talk, and I'm sure there are many who've drawn inferences about persons who are lacing their boots to want to contest John Mahama in an internal election.
Right.
Names have been, people have suspected,
right,
for instance, that Dr. Dufo, his name may be on the ticket to contest for the flagbearership of the NDC. He's not publicly declared that, but there are some who've looked at his most recent public outings, the outdooring of the Awonto project, for instance, that has courted a lot of interest and people's attention at the grassroots level within the NDC. If anybody seeks to change the scales or pick up the statements in the report and say, okay, if EIU says to revitalize the prospects of the NDC heading into 2024, the party will need a fresh candidate. You say it's a tall order for anybody who would dare to. What will it take really for somebody to go against the odds and make this prediction a reality? What kind of work, what kind of strategy, what kind of attention to detail will be required in this arena of politics, and considering all the variables that are available, to cause a major upset?
Quite a number of them. What would need to happen is that the prototype of such a candidate would be one that usurps the president in each of the factors that I've outlined. Person has to be somebody, okay, let's look at the performance and the personality factors or variables.
Yeah.
You look at some personality variables. The person will need to be somebody who has as much of charisma as the president or even more. We are looking at somebody who is going to come in with the energy, with the vigor, with the magnetism, with the electricity, and the kind of force that will galvanize the party. That kind of energy that would galvanize them into action and really get them to follow him or her. So that's one. The person has to be very popular, and that is in terms of name recognition. Okay?
Top of mind awareness.
Exactly, top of mind awareness. Okay, Dr. Dufo has a bit of that. But it really needs to be one that the recall is like that. Okay, not, yes. So there's that. Somebody who is competent, because competency was a major factor or issue of discourse in the last election. Okay, so the person has to convince the electorate that I'm a competent person, I'm well qualified, I'm knowledgeable, well educated, I can do the job. And then very important, the person has to connect with the grassroots.
Connection with the grassroots.
Yes.
What kind of connection? Is it meeting the needs of the grassroots? Is it showing up at events? Is it having just a natural affinity that people love about the person?
It is that natural affinity, the warmth, the relatability. Yes, you can be competent. Yes, you can be well qualified. But in an election, voters are looking for somebody who understands their needs and their concerns, who connects with them at that level and shows a passionate commitment to solving those particular needs. The person should be able to empathize and be able to connect in terms of the last thing that you said, in terms of the warmth and the relatability with the candidates and meet them at that level.
Okay.
That is necessary so that they are able to buy into the person's campaign, because at the end of the day, this person feels my pain. This person knows what it means to be a single mother. This person knows what it means to be a single parent. This person understands the dynamics of living on a very limited salary or budget, and knows what this means to not just the middle class, but even those below who live below the poverty line. Yes. So that is the kind of person that they're looking for, and that's the grassroots connection that I'm talking about. So all of this, and the person also has to have a record, of doing something to show that I can do that. And then very importantly, the person has to be able to inspire a sense of action among the grassroots. If only that skill, that needle, that is the prototype of the kind exemplar of the candidate who would be able to make such a seismic change in that fortune. That is what they are talking about. Because they think that there's now a certain stalemate. Everybody knows who former President John Mahama is. The jury is out there. The decision on the discourse on him is a very decided
So more
issue.
like a wild card kind of candidate.
Yes.
Unpredictable, unmatched, comes with a bit of pizzazz that nobody has anticipated. Has a record, has competence, has connection, has charisma.
Yes, I'll go with a wild card.
Okay.
Because that is what is going to inject a certain form of energy. So I'm not saying that is necessarily what will be